Mr. President. My question is to Senator Lundy, representing the Minister for School Education. With the 6th year of NAPLAN testing happening this week, there is a growing campaign to boycott NAPLAN among parents, teachers and academics. National rates of withdrawal from NAPLAN tests have been growing, with Year 3 mathematics exam rates increasing nearly fourfold since 2008. At the same time, research by the University of Melbourne last year showed that approximately 73% of teachers reported teaching to the test at the cost of other subjects that NAPLAN doesn't address. My question is the government concerned by the level of dissatisfaction about the program while it absorbs such a large proportion of educators' time and resources?
Order. The Minister representing the Minister for School Education, Early Childhood and Youth, Senator Lundy.
Thank you, Mr. President. The National Assessment Program, Literacy and Numeracy, or NAPLAN, is an annual assessment for students in Years 3, 5, 7 and 9, and it's an everyday part of the school calendar and has been since 2008. NAPLAN test dates for 2013 are the 14th and 16th of May, so this week, and across Australia approximately 1 million students will sit the tests. The purpose of NAPLAN is to provide reliable, comparable information on how students, schools and school systems are performing against national standards, including national minimum standards in each of the assessed areas. NAPLAN tests the sort of skills that are essential for every child to progress through school and life, such as reading, writing, spelling and numeracy. And NAPLAN allows governments, education authorities, schools, teachers and parents to determine whether or not young Australians are meeting important education outcomes in literacy and numeracy. And results from the NAPLAN tests provide valuable information on how students, schools and school systems are performing against national standards, including national minimum standards in each of the assessed areas. All students in Years 3, 5 and 7 are encouraged to participate, as I said. Although participation is not mandatory, it's pleasing to see that withdrawal rates nationally are very low. And for all students sitting the NAPLAN, the withdrawal rate back in 2012, the withdrawal rate was 1.5% across all domains and year levels. Mr. President, when students do not take part in NAPLAN, the students, their parents and their teachers miss out on the opportunity to see where they are doing well and what areas they may need to work on. So we encourage full participation in the NAPLAN test process.
Senator Wright.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a supplementary question. There is evidence that NAPLAN results are being misused as entry scores for certain schools. Publication of results on the My School site has compounded stigma around some schools' reputations. Children are showing physical symptoms of stress, and companies are even selling fish oil to concerned parents. Are these unintended consequences of the program, and if so, is the government concerned?
Order. The Minister.
Thank you, Mr. President. Mr. President, there is no robust evidence to suggest that NAPLAN testing is causing stress to students. NAPLAN is not a high-stakes test, and while it may be high-profile, there are no adverse consequences for students. And while it is expected that some students will feel some stress in response to any assessment, it is likely these responses are not exclusive to NAPLAN testing. In 2012, the Whitlam Institute released a report titled "The Experience of Education, the Impacts of High-Stakes Testing on School Students and Their Families and Educators' Perspective." And this report claims that approximately 90% of respondents to the email survey stated that at least some students reported feeling stressed. The report was on an opt-in email survey sent only to union members, to which 3% of members chose to respond. 3%. In addition, many of the survey questions appear to have been structured to elicit negative responses. So
Order.
I repeat, there is no robust evidence.
Senator Wright.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a further supplementary. Given that the minister's representative has said that the government is not convinced that there are the associated difficulties that are outlined with NAPLAN, how is the government intending to consider whether this is the case and how to improve NAPLAN and the way the results are used to better meet its stated objectives of student performance?
Minister.
Thank you. As I was saying, there is no robust evidence, and having had a look at the reports, we're very confident of that, and that report supports anecdotal comments about NAPLAN testing not causing undue stress. But teachers and school leaders do have a role in helping students manage those feelings of stress and not to place students under undue pressure by focusing their curriculum and teaching practices around the NAPLAN tests. Mr President, the issue about NAPLAN testing is that it is in everyone's interest to have full participation. In that way we're able to get the strongest possible results from the NAPLAN testing process, and this allows both schools and teachers to determine where the areas of learning need to be strengthened within the context of that school and that class.